So, Paul, thank you so much for taking the time for being on our YouTube Community of Practice channel here. And on behalf of SETSI, we want to thank you so much for your leadership today.
Thank you for invitation. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
All right, awesome. So, as always, we begin by acknowledging the original stewards of the various lands that we are on. We also acknowledge our ancestors. We acknowledge all those who toiled without compassion or compensation. We acknowledge all the elders and community stalwarts whose shoulders we stand on as we build, share, learn together for our collective liberation and sovereignty. So if you can please do us the honors by introducing yourself and tell us about your amazing work.
Amazing work. Let's start. My name is Paul Lecomte. I'm an agronomist and I've been working for Fira for about 14 years. And now we're launching a new fund, which is called Fira 2, which will be built over $100 million assets to invest with young farmers in the next 10 years. So far, with the first fund, we've been helping young farmers when they are at the stage of launching their business or when they have to consolidate their farm after a few year exercise. Also, we've been helping many of young producers to transfer farms, existing farms, and help them to start with this new area in their life. That's short
fantastic. No, that's great. Yeah, that's really good. Farming is so essential. You know, what would we eat if we didn't have farmers? So thank you for your service in that. Yeah. All right. So what inspires you? What inspires you about your work? Yeah.
Really enjoyed to see a new blood in the agriculture environment. In agriculture and in finance and agriculture, there's a lot of money involved so far, and mature organization, mature farms do not have problems to get financed by with the ecosystem in place. But for the young producers or the aspiring farmers, it's pretty hard to get involved, to get what they need to start their business. You need so many assets to start in agriculture and to build a commercial, how can I say, a viable farm, that we needed to add more tools to help young farmers without assets at the beginning. Though what inspired me was to complete this offer in financial system to help the youngest and the newcomers in farming. Though that's the main thing that inspired me at the beginning, about 14, 15 years ago when I started the first fund. What is still inspiring me today, it's that the need is even bigger than it used to be 15 years ago. Though for the young people to buy a farm, to invest in all the assets they need, though mechanical assets, updating the land to be able to produce with it, the needs for money is even bigger today than it was 15 years ago. And I think we need to see newcomers coming in farming, not only sons and daughters of actual producers to take over their farms. We need to give an equal opportunity, even for those who are coming from outside the agricultural farming system right now. And it helps to get a diverse vision of agriculture by letting new people coming into it. Though still inspiring me to see diversity coming, helping people not issued from farm system coming into it and do new things to break the walls.
That's right. That's right. You know, it's newcomers that come in, a lot of times they're already ready, hands-on to do farming, especially in the African regions, the Caribbean regions, and those things. I mean, it's something, they did it as a natural thing. You know, the parents would say, oh, pick me some herbs, so I can put it in for dinner. It was such a normal thing, and we need to bring that back. I remember I was listening to a Kenyan farmer, this young lady, and she says, we need to make farming sexy again, in the sense of the documentation, the adverts are usually elderly women, still beautiful, still strong, but to really attract the younger generation, we need to have younger people on the pamphlets, younger farmers, so make it look more attractive.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and you need they've got new ideas to bring into agriculture today, uh,
Hmm.
but they need to have uh, tools, money, and
Right.
access to agriculture, and the barriers to start or to launch a farm are so huge. Um, we need tools, we need instruments to help them to start, to launch, and to succeed eventually.
Exactly. So what are some of the challenges or barriers that you face in your work, and how have you been overcoming them or in the process of overcoming?
Oh, barriers. Uh, Looking at barriers for young farmers, I think we have to to see cost of the assets. Cost of the assets is the main barrier for young people. To launch a fund like the one uh, we've got the same problem. We have to overcome the perspective that people with a lot of debt or without access to the assets to the land uh, cannot succeed. We had to prove that when you've got the good people, well formed or educated with experience, uh, we can succeed and do something. And in order to succeed in that challenge to raise up the fund, uh, we had to convince, first of all, the government part to let them understand that we need to make an additional effort to help young people. And starting from that, since it was hard to convince the government to involve more money in a certain field, which is very specific to a smaller group of the population, which is agriculture producers, uh, we had to bring aboard other partners. And we had to convince them that it would have been a very intelligent move to promote self-entrepreneurship, to promote investment in rural areas, to promote okay, uh, autonomie alimentaire. I'm sorry, I lack vocabulary, but uh, to food security, to promote food security for our country, that was self-sufficiency of in food production. Though by bringing all those concepts together, we've been able to convince as well Mouvement Desjardins, which is a banker financial institution here in Quebec, as well as the Fonds de solidarité des travailleurs du Québec, which is a pension fund, to look at investing in young people in rural areas to secure food production. And having that together, we've been able to launch the first fund with $75 million. And after 14 years, we've been able to raise another $100 million with the same concept, the same motivation, with the results of the first fund, uh, because we succeed to develop, not to develop, but to help over 180 promoters, farmers, amongst which over 80% are still in agriculture after all those years. So we had a business case with the first fund for the second fund, showing that interest in rural area and young people and farming and food security worth to to invest money.
Yes, very, very important. Food security is right up there with, clothing and shelter. Food, clothing, and shelter is a basic right. I mean, it has to be implemented, without all the red, yellow tape. It needs to
Yep.
really be put into place on all levels. So at this time, do you have anything that you want to amplify? Anything you're working on currently?
Right now, what we are working on mainly is access to land. Um, Price of the land have raised so much in the last 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Uh, we see a lot of good project, good promoters with ideas which are not revolutionary, but which are in the scope of what we're looking at, uh, which is starting a farm that will be there in 10 to 20 years from now. Though in that perspective, we're focusing a lot on buying land all across the province to help those young producers to launch their farm. Uh, One thing I will insist on, we're not looking at buying land to make profit. We are buying land that are identified by those promoters, by those farmers in or want to be farmer, and we invest with them in their project. So we've got a piece of land everywhere in Quebec. We don't have any concentration anywhere. Our goal is especially to help specific project that got which have a good chance to succeed. Many funds are getting involved in land in buying land here all across the Americas, by the way, but they are looking more at the benefit of investing in land. On our side, what I do want to insist, we don't have that in our scope. We really have the in perspective to help specific farm project uh, everywhere across the province. Because if we just concentrate in Montreal's area, by the way, we will not play our role properly by doing that. Though we really want to spread the influence of what we're doing all across the province on I'm lacking the words to express it, but on the want to see some equity all across the province to young farmers to give some equity uh, to access to agriculture. So closer you are of major centers like Montreal, Quebec, it will be easier to get access to fund to do whatever you want. But as soon as you are getting away from major center, so it's getting harder and harder to get funds to launch your farm. So we want to be very clean on that. We want to give equal chance and a reasonable chance to everybody to start everywhere and to cover properly the whole province.
Very good. Awesome. So let me ask you, how do you feel about the future of social impact in Canada?
I hope we will still have that in mind in every move that we'll be doing together. I'm looking at what's going on south of the borders right now, uh, where they seems to forget social issues such a way that I hope that we will maintain this perspective here in Canada as well in Quebec, uh, because we want to be a society. We don't want to be smaller group of distinct classes, and social economy is it has to be promoted and spread. What we're doing on our side with Fira, we want to be accessible. May I say that? We want to make sure that we are giving equal access to anybody, even though you're coming from a rich family or you're coming from school by a dream you had younger without having a family to back you up. Um, I think social economy is, in our perspective, something important we have in mind and we have to promote.
Absolutely. You always, I always say that you have to be hopeful when you're in this line of work because we know that the next generation, it is here, the Gen Zs and beyond, and they're they are that accountability culture, Uh, what did you guys do in the past, and all these things. So we are taking, that passion, and making it a purposeful mission in this country to make the change that we want to see in order to pass the baton on. We're laying a foundation of change. We're laying a foundation so that the next generation can carry it on. So,
Yeah.
you have to kind of stay hopeful, but it's
See,
not all roses and lollipops, right?
in what you just said, when I helped to launch the first fund. I was foreseeing the second, the third, the fourth, and the fifth one. We are now launching the second fund with the same spirit, the same hope, and same passion as the first one. And I hope I'll be able to see the third and the fourth fund in the next 10 to 15 years. Uh, because it got this fund is made with the purpose of helping a group of people with quality to succeed, but without the tools, the financial tools to do it. So we want to be this block, this chain linked uh, to help to give access to agriculture to everybody.
That's it. Absolutely. Well, Paul, this has been amazing and so inspiring. I love interviewing anybody in the agricultural sector because it's almost like a revival. You know, I grew up in Burlington, Ontario, and back in those days, driving on Highway 5 was pure farmland. Like what
Used
it
to
is
be.
today used to be. Now there's these little mini condos everywhere, but I really remember. And then I heard the story that the parents passed it down to the children, but the children wanted to go downtown. They wanted to live downtown Toronto, and totally forget all about the agricultural sector. So it just gives me goosebumps to know that it's being revived and young people are actually taking that initiative to at least grow locally, I think they're called co-op farms or farms where they come together in their neighborhood, starting like that. So this has been really, really, really inspiring. We thank you for all that you do. So
It's still a
give
pleasure.
me your closing thoughts and calls to actions at this time.
Uh, I hope we will be only a model for others. What we did, we've been able to raise quite a lot of money over the years, the past years, and right now. Uh, One thing I understood, I understand after doing all that thing, is that there is a way to help many linked of our society to succeed and to take their place and to live decently. Uh, if we take the time to look at how to do it, if we take the time to understand what it's needed, and eventually, I think we'll have more groups that will emancipate of their any situation they are to achieve their dreams and to do what they want to do in their life properly. But to do so, we have to take time to identify what is needed, the purpose to do it, and the outcome of doing it. On our side, I would say, when I say I would like to be a model, I would like not me as myself, but as the fund. Uh, we give the chance to over 180 entrepreneurs to be entrepreneurs in agriculture. We've been giving the chance to over 800 people to have a regular work from what we're doing. So I'm looking at what it's the outcome of what we've been doing, and all that things we didn't cost anything at the end because the money was recovered without any benefit for so far, and I don't think there'll be benefit, but it will be a cost zero, and we'll have to say that the social impact would be gorgeous. So if there's something to say, take the time, look at it, identify the purpose, identify the group, identify the needs, and raise the money with the good partners who are not looking at making profit at any cost, but they're socially a very good impact, which is more than money, which is giving peace and rest to almost 1,000 people so far.
Right, that's awesome. Paul, we thank you so much. We appreciate all your remarkable leadership, and we'll definitely be collaborating. We collaborate with a lot of people in the agricultural sector. And yeah, like we said, food security is a birthright. So we have to eradicate, these things that I've been hearing, I've been seeing, and all that. So again, on behalf of SETSI, thank you so much for your time, and we will close the way that we began by acknowledging the original stewards of the various lands that we are on. We also acknowledge our ancestors. We acknowledge all those who toiled without compassion or compensation. We acknowledge all the elders and community stalwarts whose shoulders we stand on as we build, share, learn together for our collective liberation and sovereignty. So once again, Paul, thank you, and we will definitely be in touch.
Thank you very much, and it's been a pleasure to be with you.
Likewise. Okay, dear. Bye-bye.
Bye.